Hi, everyone. Welcome to this installment of SBIFF Film Talk. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for bearing with us with the late start. We had a few technical difficulties, and before we get started with our film talk, we're going to roll a clip for you. So let's get started with that.
So I grew up in like a bubble of safety and protection. My parents were always very, do what's right, do what's safe, be careful, don't hurt yourself. That kind of a world, and this is totally the opposite of that. I feel like put yourself in uncomfortable situations and be uncomfortable and like appreciate what that feels like to be super uncomfortable. And that's, you've never done something before, it can seem like such an impossibility, but until you try it and put yourself in that position, you never know what you're capable of. So cheesy as it sounds, do the thing that scares you a little bit, or whatever that cliche I just ripped off is. But it's true. Do things like that in life, or what's the point? We could all die tomorrow.
Hi, welcome. We're here joined by the director of Crossing the Channel, Ryan Slattery. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, Audrey. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. That's a really nice backdrop you have there.
Cinematography is my first passion, so I had to try.
Oh, you know what? That's good to know. So let's get started. When did you first become aware of Rachel and what she had, her story, what she was planning to do?
Sure. So I think it was probably about a month before her swim that I randomly saw some buzz being generated on social media about what she was doing. And literally the minute I heard or I read that post, I dropped what I was doing and I reached out to my childhood best friend, Brian Clark, who's her boyfriend, long-term boyfriend. And I said, hey, this is amazing. She's a hero. This is like, she's doing it for a great cause. This is just so amazing that we need to capture this. We need to document it. Like, would you help me ask her if that's okay? And it took them about 3 or 4 days to get back to me. But when they did, I was so stoked that we were going to be able to shadow her around and tell her story.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about that. So you followed her then for probably a few weeks before the actual swim, right? And was there much filming, or was that more just kind of reconnaissance and understanding? What was that sort of like?
I'm pretty sure every time I followed her, I had a camera going. Mostly it was just she would get up before any of us, 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and go swim in the ocean. That's how she trained. That's how she practiced. So I wanted to kind of see what she was doing and how she was doing it and tag along. And I filmed what I could. I mean, I can get her going out into the ocean, but pretty soon she's too far to see. So it was a lot of going out and meeting her in the morning. And of course we did our pre-swim interview where I learned all about what she was doing, and we just kind of took it from there. I think the only other thing we did before her swim was an interview with Jane Cairns, who was kind of like the observer for the swim. So that's all it took before the actual swim. Of course, a lot of the filming took place on swim day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's so incredible that you were able to document the swim itself. It's the kind of topic I think that you could make a film about after the fact. Because it's a big enough topic as it is. But the fact that you were able to get in ahead of time and document that, can you take us through kind of the technical, just what that undertaking was like as you filmed this on the sea? Were you a one-man crew, or what was that? Just take us through that.
Sure, and just to go back to, I was really excited to talk to her before, because this was this huge unknown. I mean, it's this incredible feat, 12 miles through the ocean. So we didn't know for certain that she'd be able to get through it because of weather or whatever. So it was great to have the contrast of talking to her before and then talking to Rachel as well after she had finished it. As far as the swim day, yeah, it was exciting. We had to meet at 2:30 a.m. and she jumped in the water at 4 a.m. in the pitch dark, and there was 2 boats going. So I had asked my friend and fellow filmmaker Landon Kelt to be on the second boat, and he was actually the drone operator as well. So we had it covered from both sides because she was swimming between two boats, which kind of helped guide her in the right direction so she didn't just wander off. And I don't know, I'm really big into stabilized video, but for whatever reason on the boat, I just went handheld, and I was worried it was going to make the audience feel a little seasick, but I think it added to just the intensity of what she was actually doing.
Yeah. Like we're there on the boat because we're
Right.
kind of rocking with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's something that I think stands out is how much coverage you were able to get, because I would imagine that would be quite a challenge to, I mean, and this took place over hours as well.
It was 7 hours, and yeah, we were rolling most of the time just because you never knew what was going to happen. I mean, you saw the scene with the cargo container, I mean, or the cargo
Right.
ship, like that. That was
Yeah.
exciting, and you just never knew. So we were rolling full time.
Yeah, can you talk a bit more about that cargo container? Because I feel like that was one of my favorite moments, just I think visually, because you do get the scale with her in the water and you on the boat, and and sorry, thing popped up on the screen. But yeah, can you just talk to us about that? Because that's such an interesting moment in the film that feels very authentic too.
It was very intense. I think we all kind of fell over. I mean, that was a gigantic wave, and the captain was trying to contact the ship captain, and he never had any luck. So we were just like, all right, here we go. And Rachel swam right through, and she had a great time. And but the boats themselves, it was very scary. We went up, we went down. I think I fell over, but I got the shot. So
Wow.
it was good times.
Yeah, I mean, considering what we've heard about what can happen to boats when there's big waves and lots of turbulence recently, it's lucky. Can you tell us about, I mean, you've kind of touched on this a bit, but, what keeps coming to mind is that there must have been challenges, and were there any moments in the film that happened live that you were there to witness but weren't able to capture, or what was the process of choosing out of all of that footage? How did you select what to include, like what moments to include, and were there any that were missed?
No, I don't think we missed anything as far as coverage, but this was my first documentary, and I don't know how to go about it, but editing it was actually very organic. I went through all the footage, and I just was able to identify parts that I thought mattered, and it was a very natural edit. It wasn't that hard at all, and I think that we hit on all the drama that happened, as well as just driving home her incredible story and message, which is, you need to do things that challenge you. You need to do things that are uncomfortable. That's so important, and she kept driving that home, and I hope that message kind of intertwined through the long swim itself. And I'm glad we didn't show the whole 7 hours. That would have been a heck of a film.
Yeah, I appreciated I felt like another relatable moment was the banter, I think with her mom, or someone who's reading the text that she's getting.
It's
And she just wants to
it's
know.
one of her good friends who served as a support swimmer as well as the main heckler, and that was Heather Royer. And
Right.
she is hilarious. She definitely provided the comedy that was much necessary in the documentary. And yeah, there was one point where Rachel just wanted to know, like, how far have I been? Like, how far have I gone? How far do I have to go? And Heather kept reading out these lines from her coworkers and friends, and just for a split second, you see Rachel get a little irritated about that. She just wants to know, how far has she gone? But all in all, Heather was a huge just asset to have on that boat, of course.
Yeah, I'm realizing too, I definitely made the mom association, because instantly I was like, that's a conversation my mom and I could have had, of just give me the information, please.
Exactly. Her dad was there, but not her mom. Her mom
Right.
was not
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's kind of a nice element, I think, as well, how you include that kind of cast of characters in there. Yeah. Tell us a bit about them, and were you involved with any of them in the background stages at all?
No, no, but she had the most incredible team. I couldn't believe. I mean, if you ever meet Rachel, you right away love her. You want to support her and whatever she's thinking or trying to do. So it's no surprise that she had this incredible team of 7 people there, and they all just filled exactly what she needed, I think, to accomplish this incredible feat. She had her mentor Tom. She had Tom's son Josh, who was on the kayak, and he was, he's right there with her. Of course, they can't touch; it's part of the rules. There's no touching, there's no grabbing onto the kayak. He was just kind of, you got the boats guiding him, and he's guiding her. And then we had Chelsea and Heather, who were the support swimmers. Every once in a while, they could get in the water with her and just kind of give her a boost. Her dad and her boyfriend were on boat 2, and then we had an awesome captain on boat 1. But it was just, I had not had any coordination with, and of course Jane, who was the observer, and the Santa Barbara Channel Swimmers Association representative. So I had not met any of them besides Jane before, but it was incredible to just feel the dynamic of this team as the day went on.
Yeah, it's nice. I think they add the other component to this story thematically, where you have this big message about personal perseverance and pushing yourself into uncomfortable situations to see what individually you're capable of. But then there's that other layer that, in those moments in life, there's almost always a support community, or you really need some kind of community or support to have that. So was that something that came through organically in the story, or was that something you wanted to bring out, or just share some thoughts on those themes?
Sure. It, I think it came out organically. I mean, I noticed right away. I mean, she had a support cast that went well beyond those 7 people. It's a whole community. It's so funny. You don't know about something until you know about it. Like, I had no idea that people swam 12 miles across the channel until one day I saw this social media post, and I was like, wow, people do that.
Why?
But it's this incredible community of swimmers that undertake these huge challenges. So I think that she had the support of this entire community. And just the whole time, what drove me is like, I would never do this. This is crazy, but so amazing. And I think that as far as the community thing, what was really beautiful about how this film kind of played out as it premiered in the Santa Barbara Film Festival is it was actually the last night, and it was the last film of the entire festival. And I think that this is 2017. We had just had the Montecito mudslide, so we had delayed the film festival, and I think as a community we were kind of looking for like this kind of positive message and this kind of like come together and let's pick each other up. So I think it just was perfect timing with what was going on in our own community as well.
Yeah, totally. So then, as a cinematographer, as that being your main passion, what would you say are your favorite? Do you have favorite shots in the film, or did you have shots that you envisioned ahead of time that you really wanted? And what was that creative process of the cinematography like?
This was hard for me because I am used to very calculated shots and very smooth motion. So it was not like me at all to just say, all right, I'm gonna do a documentary, and what matters is the story. You go out there and you make sure you're rolling the camera. So it's shot completely different than anything else I would ever shoot, but I love it. I love that it just brings attention to the story, and it just goes to show that you don't need to be so perfect with every single shot as you do in narrative films and such. So I don't know, we had fun with the underwater stuff. That was actually shot after her swim. I put a GoPro on her when she was just going out again to swim in the ocean, and it was the middle of the day, but I just dropped the exposure in post, and it made it kind of feel like we were there with her at 4:30 a.m. And I thought that was important. I wanted everyone to kind of feel like you're with her, or at least you're pretending to be her, going through this incredible journey.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, kind of unrelated, but I just keep thinking that I think another of my favorite moments is the end where she runs out of the water. When I was rewatching it today, I genuinely didn't think that was her. I was like, no, that wasn't her. She ran out. That's not her. That must have been a support swimmer or something. Like, wait for it. She's coming out. And then when you have the interview saying, no, she ran out of the water. I mean, that's astonishing. Like, what a badass.
After 7 hours of swimming, I mean, even the swimmers that have been doing this for 20 years were shocked. And my favorite part is when her boyfriend Brian's like, I can't believe she ran out. Like it just it's exactly what we were all thinking, and it was
like she was ready to go again.
I don't know, it must have been adrenaline or having her crowd there, or just finally completing this thing that she'd been training for so long. But it just goes to show you what Rachel's like, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Are you still in contact with her, and can you give us an update of what she's up to now? And
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but I'm sure she's still swimming. We actually talked today, and she was a good pep talk for me. It goes back to what the film's message is. Like, this is my third Zoom meeting, I think, ever. I'm not very comfortable with this, and
it's terrible. It's okay.
She reminded me, well, what is the film about? It's about doing stuff you're not comfortable with and challenging yourself. So it was cool to talk to her today and kind of get a little pep talk. And I don't know if she's watching or not. She doesn't seek out this kind of attention. She's just is this awesome person that does these cool things, and she does them for a good reason. So I'm glad that she's been in the limelight.
Yeah, the Santa Barbara Special Olympics.
I know.
Which is incredible. And I've, actually had family members who have swam as swimmers in Special Olympic events once upon a time. So that was really incredible. Do you have any updates, or do you have any knowledge about that aspect, or how the film, if the film had any impact on, that awareness and whatnot?
I actually do not know. I've not asked. I've not followed up on that. I will be sure to ask.
Well, you know what? We're talking about it now, so we're raising awareness about it now.
And she raised, I think, 7,800. So you know that is something good.
Yeah, that's incredible. So what would you say? Especially this being your first documentary, what is the wisdom that you gleaned from this experience? What would be the advice that you would pass on were someone to do something similar or try to take on, this kind of filmmaking?
Sure. I think it's just that if you hear a story or something that's happening that just stops you in your tracks, like this did when I learned what she was doing, you got to just go for it. And this was 2016, so I had just bought my first camera that year, so I was learning as I went, and I had done a few narratives, but I had never done a documentary. But I think that just doing it, just getting out there and doing it, and just putting it together, it goes a long way. I mean, just go for it, I guess, is my message.
Yeah. Would you say it was your experience in doing narrative that was kind of your building block for how to approach this, or did you have a documentary or a filmmaker that kind of informed your approach on this?
No, I think I just knew that I have a good friend, Casey McGarry. I think I consulted him a few times just because he makes a lot of documentaries, and I basically knew that we just had to talk to her before and after and be there for the swim. And it's kind of a simple story, it had a beginning and an ending, and it's so beautiful. I mean, she could have also not finished the swim, and I think there still would have been a intriguing story, but it's amazing that she's like she says in the film, she doesn't like to say she's going to do anything that she doesn't actually do. So she was just driven the entire swim, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, she's really inspiring in that way. And I think we can, we all feel better hearing that and hearing those reminders that, if you say you're just, I don't know, what am I trying to say? But that vibe she has, that determination of wanting to stick it out and really commit to her
Absolutely.
goals, it's just like seeing someone that actually does it like her, and then with a goal so incredible as crossing the channel. That's, I don't know, I think a really lovely thing, and
Absolutely.
really awesome that you were able to capture that and document that and bring that to us.
Yeah, and I don't know how much pressure she felt being that I was on the boat capturing it. I have to talk to her about that. I mean, it probably it added even a little more pressure, but I think she would have made
Wow.
it either way.
Well, she did awesome. And Rachel, if you're tuning in or out there or watch this later, like, props. I don't know. Wow. Well, thank you, Ryan, so much for being here and sharing the film with us and talking about it. And we'll be back next week with another installment of SBIFF Film Talk. And take care, everyone. You take care and stay safe out there.
Thanks, Audrey.
All right. Bye.